Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, we have an update on the 20-year-old suspect charged with murder. The Salvation Army is lending a helping hand to the Crossroads, what they're doing for residents affected by Hurricane Beryl. Plus, heat-related deaths are on the rise across the country. We'll tell you what authorities are fearing.
And we've got yet again another chance for some showers going our way going into this afternoon, and that goes into tomorrow as well. But we still have that heat coming our way, especially going into next week. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Shiner softball wins multiple awards in 2A softball. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, I'm Adarius McCormick.
And I'm Parker Cox.
Today is Thursday, July 11th. The time is now 5 a.m. And earlier I was talking about the heat-related deaths across the country. Are we going to see some of those heat advisories here in Victoria?
Yes, in fact, we actually already have a few heat advisories. We're going to look at that later on Sunrise. And did you know that, Darius, that heat is actually the #1 weather-related death?
Wow.
Every year. Yep, heat is the #1 killer, folks, and y'all need to be ready for it because it's going to be coming our way, especially next week when high pressure returns. Some of us could be back in the low 100s. We're going to take a look at that later because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Victoria. It's another warm and humid morning, just like it has been for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks now. 74 degrees right now here in Victoria, and the dew point is 73, bringing humidity to 97%. And under those light winds, you do have a visibility of 8 miles, but looking at your camera, it's not really that foggy out there this morning, so don't really need to worry about any kind of fog today. But what some of us might want to worry about is some rain, because we already have a couple of showers out there on our scope this morning. Looking at your radar, really all of it is concentrated right down on the coast this morning, coming into Port O'Connor, Seadrift, and Port Lavaca here in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So if y'all live down here, get those umbrellas ready. But honestly, all of us might want to get those umbrellas handy for today because going into later this morning and later this afternoon, you can see whatever showers that are down there on the coast, I think they're going to kind of start moving a little bit more inland and become more widespread as we go into the afternoon. As you can see here, here's 3 p.m. The good news is I don't think there's going to be any severe weather today. We're going to look at that risk in just a second because going into the later this afternoon and to the early evening, maybe some more showers continuing before it mostly dies off tonight and then overnight as well. Then actually sometime around 3 a.m. and going to maybe mid-morning, we might have some more showers developing along the mid-coast, and we got some more shower activity coming our way tomorrow. And as promised, like I said, no severe weather is expected today, just a bunch of general thunderstorms expected coming our way. And other good news is there's no more tropic activity coming our way. That's all nice and quiet. Beryl's going to be moving into Canada today, and here in the Crossroads, we've still got lots more heat and humidity to deal with, more shower chances too. And we're going to take a look at all that more though in just a few more moments. Back to you, Darius.
Thank you, Parker. Authorities confirmed a 2-vehicle crash involving a motorcycle and a Jeep Wednesday afternoon on U.S. Highway 59 near Bloomington. Emergency crews pronounced the driver of the motorcycle dead at the scene. Authorities did not release the identity of the motorcycle driver. The crash is currently under investigation. Now, an update on the 20-year-old man accused of killing his mother. 45-year-old Virginia Ann Martinez was found in a white Ford Expedition on the 600 block of East Water Street Monday night. Investigators believe she lost control, causing her car to crash into the fence. The passenger, who was her son, Trevon Anthony Martinez, fled the scene. Virginia Ann Martinez was discovered with life-threatening injuries unrelated to the crash. Her son is charged with murder. Victoria County released the mugshot of the 20-year-old Wednesday. Martinez remains at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $500,000 bond. Victoria County records show Martinez pled guilty to assault last November and was already on probation. Now to the recovery following Beryl. 9 area counties were approved for federal disaster assistance after Hurricane Beryl. Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, Victoria, and Wharton counties will get federal assistance for debris removal and emergency work. Federal funding is also available on a cost-sharing basis for hazard mitigation measures statewide. AEP Texas estimates power will be restored in Bay City and El Campo by 5 p.m. today. 3 counties in the Crossroads are reporting power outages after Beryl. Last night, Jackson County reported over 200 customers without power. That number fell below 20 this morning. In Matagorda County, 2,151 customers are still without electricity this morning following Beryl's landfall. While in Wharton County, outages dropped from 400 customers without power Wednesday evening to just under 200 customers this morning. Beryl damaged one of the most historic buildings in Matagorda County, Hotel Blessing. Plans for the hotel, which opened in 1907, were drawn by an architect from Victoria. Since 1979, Hotel Blessing has been on the National Register of Historic Places and is the first listing for Matagorda County with this distinction. The hotel is currently closed. The Salvation Army of Victoria is helping Beryl victims in Wharton and Matagorda counties. The Victoria Canteen served 500 meals in Palacios in each of the past 2 days. The Salvation Army has 9 canteens covering 3 counties on the coast hit hard by Beryl. A major heat wave blanketing much of the United States over the past several days is to blame for at least 28 deaths. Most of the heat-related deaths were in California and Oregon, but the high temperatures have killed people as far east as Maryland. As of Wednesday, more than 135 million people across the country were under heat alerts. The intense heat is expected to stick around through the weekend, and authorities fear the death toll could rise. Testimonies resumed this morning in Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial. The actor is charged in connection with the shooting death of a crew member on the set of his movie Rust. Prosecutors and Baldwin's attorney laid out their cases for jurors yesterday.
Opening arguments kicking off the involuntary manslaughter trial of actor Alec Baldwin.
He pointed the gun at another human being, cocked the hammer, and pulled that trigger in reckless disregard for Miss Hutchins.
This was an unspeakable tragedy, but Alec Baldwin committed no crime.
In 2021, the prop gun Baldwin was holding on the Rust movie set went off, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Prosecutors claim Baldwin was reckless, ignoring industry rules for firearm safety, saying their evidence proves the gun could not have been fired without the trigger being pulled.
You will see him put his finger on the trigger when his finger's not supposed to be on the trigger.
Baldwin denies pulling the trigger. His lawyers argued Baldwin was the actor on a set where multiple safeguards were supposed to be in place. They say he was told the gun was cold, meaning it had no live rounds.
Even if he intentionally pulled the trigger like the prosecutor just demonstrated, that doesn't make him guilty of homicide.
The defense blames the movie's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez. She was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 18 months in prison after prosecutors accused her of failing to notice she had at least one live round mixed in with the dummy rounds.
And you will hear no evidence, not one word, that Alec Baldwin had anything to do with that real bullet being brought onto that set.
The evidence you will see will paint a real-life picture of a real-life workplace where this defendant mishandled this gun.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Remember to check out our YouTube channel Crossroads today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 5:08. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Construction for a new substance abuse recovery facility starts soon in Victoria.
President Joe Biden closes out the NATO summit today during a pivotal time for his re-election campaign. I'm Christiane Cordero with the latest in Washington.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your weather and health forecast, followed by your marine forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that heat that is coming our way next week. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you are tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero. Another warm and humid morning, even in Cuero. We're not raining, though. Some areas that are seeing rain, and we'll look at radar in just a second, because right now in Cuero it is 73 degrees, and your dew point at 71, 2 degrees off of that temperature. Excuse me, bringing your humidity to 93%, so it is a little bit humid, not enough for fog, though. That's the good news, but it is enough for some rain out there. And looking at that radar, it looks like, like I said, all the rain concentrated all down along the immediate coast this morning, but you can see it is starting to move more inland. And I think, like I said, we're going to have some more showers coming our way today in the late morning and in the afternoon as well. And even tonight, we'll get that later on sunrise. Because today, the other good news, the pollen's going to be nice and low all across the board. And air quality is going to be nice and moderate today, not too bad. And your UV index, that's going to be extreme with only just a very few peaks of sunshine that we get, because it's going to be mostly cloudy for today with that rain. Otherwise, if you're going to go fishing today, or if you could go down to the beach, not too bad of a day if you can dodge the rain. Water's going to be nice and smooth today at 1 foot or less, with your winds nice and light between 5 to 10 knots, and your water's still warm at 91 degrees. But then going to this weekend, the rain chances are going to cut off and the heat comes back, and we're going to take a look at that in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we'll look at sports with Max.
The Shiner Lady Comanches won multiple pairs of awards for the 2024 softball season, starting with senior catcher Peyton Vinchek, who won 2024 Player of the Year award, voted by Blue Belt Texas Sports Writers Association Class 2A. This season, Vinchek hit .471 and had 52 total RBIs. The Lady Comanches softball also had first-team placers in pitcher Lauren Springfield, first baseman Riley Van Cura, and third baseman Kaylee Bodecker. They had one second-team placer in shortstop Adeline Siegel. And finally, Jason Keller won the 2A Coach of the Year award. The Comanches won their 7th title in program history, first since 2016. They have the most title wins in the state of Texas alone. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. President Joe Biden is preparing to wrap up the NATO summit in Washington at a pivotal time for him in building alliances overseas and here at home.
This morning, support for President Joe Biden tested on the world stage.
Jill and I are honored to have so many close allies and close friends all in the same room.
While alliances within his own party are shifting, congressional Democrats continue its mixed messaging on whether Biden should stay in the presidential race, despite his repeated stance that he's not dropping out. But former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sounding less firm in her support.
That's the way it is. Whatever he decides, we go with.
ABC's Rachel Scott pressing Pelosi to clarify.
Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this decision could harm the party?
I'm not going to be making any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can win in November.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not. Am I speaking English to you? I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
Actor George Clooney is the latest major Democratic donor to call for Biden to drop out, writing a searing op-ed in the New York Times. Clooney helped raise $28 million for Biden's campaign last month. He has also previously criticized Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war. Since the debate, more than 80 Democratic members of Congress have publicly backed Biden as the nominee, most in the last few days.
We need to go in with our best foot forward, and we need to work that out on a private basis. But any president would be jealous to run on Joe Biden's record, and I don't think anybody debates that point.
The vice president, meanwhile, was in Dallas, taking aim at Trump while speaking to members of her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, reminding Democratic voters what's at stake.
And when Congress passes a law that restores the reproductive freedoms of Roe, our president, Joe Biden, will sign it.
Biden closes the NATO summit with a news conference today, his first of the year. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you think Biden will drop out of the presidential race, yes or no? Looks like 22% say yes and 78% say no. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate in our viewer poll. Despite a few setbacks, a substance abuse recovery facility in Victoria plans to begin construction soon. In February of 2023, the Billy T. Catan Outreach Center announced construction of Hope Ranch. It's a state-of-the-art facility to help people who are dealing with substance abuse. The facility had to make changes to the timeline. However, construction will continue.
As time went on, we had to kind of adjust some things there, just so we can keep within the budget that we had come up with. And so just that redesigning of some of the facility, looking at things that maybe we could take out and or do without, that kind of just slowed down the process a little bit.
In November 1st of 2024, the completion date is estimated to be a year after construction. The Hope Ranch property is near the Highway 59 and Highway 185 intersection in Victoria. The time is now 6:46 and still to come. There's no better hype man than Flava Flav, but who is he hyping up for this year's Olympics? Sunrise birthdays. Happy 42nd birthday to Michael. I want to wish Michael Rangel a very happy birthday. May God bless you with many more years. And I love you, honey, from Martha.
Oh, that's so sweet. Happy birthday, Michael. And chart-topping rapper Lil Kim with a big birthday today. She's turning 50. Big birthday. Happy birthday, Lil Kim. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, to come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under Home, you'll see KVU to submit your birthday.
The time is now 6:47 on your Thursday morning. Friday Junior, stay with us.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope y'all been loving all the rain that we've had the last few days, including on Monday when we had Beryl, although some of us out west didn't get it, but now we're going to get it. Because coming away today, we got some more showers, not just today, but tomorrow as well, and maybe even Saturday. We'll look at that in just a second, because yesterday we got up to 94 degrees for your high temperature, and that's right on par with your average, but it was nowhere near 13 degrees away, actually, from your record set in 1917. Very hot, 107-degree record temperature, but coming our way next week, we're going to start heating up. Not to that level of hot, 107 degrees, but our heat indices could be feel like that. But coming our way next week, we're going to be getting back into the mid and upper 90s. Some of us out in the Crossroads could be seeing the low 100s as high pressure returns to the central United States. But coming away today, our heat indices, it feels like it's only going to feel like about 100 today. And why that is because the rain is going to cool off the surface, and it's going to make it feel a little bit better, bringing us just some much needed heat relief. And we really need that rain too, because we totally got robbed with Beryl out to the west. But coming our way, you can see, you can also see that there's still plenty more heat advisories out there because of the heat that's still in place. But I think they're going to disband these heat advisories either today or tomorrow, and then reinstate them going into next week when the heat returns. But I know what you're thinking. It's summertime. It's hot outside. The sun is out. Great time to go to the beach, right? Well, if you do go to the beach and you're thinking like me, make sure to be careful of rip currents. You're going to notice them in the water. They're really noticeable. And if you ever do happen to get yourself caught in one, escape to the left or right. Never, ever go up or down the middle. But we're going to take a look at all that and more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to you, Darius.
Thank you, Parker. Extreme heat is gripping much of the country. Dozens of heat-related deaths are being reported on the West Coast. And now from power outages to mosquito-borne diseases, the heat is bringing a host of new problems.
This morning, the current stretch of historic heat is doing more than just smashing records in the U.S. It's resulting in more Americans getting infected with a tropical disease.
Wherever you have a significant number of mosquitoes in warm, hot environments is where you see dengue transmission.
States as far north as Illinois and New York now seeing cases of dengue fever. Nearly 200 infections now confirmed in New York and New Jersey alone. More than 2,500 across the U.S. and Puerto Rico, 5 times higher than this time last year. Transmission occurs when someone is bitten by an infected mosquito. Experts say with higher temperatures and higher rainfall amounts, mosquitoes that carry dengue viruses are extending their range.
Mosquitoes love warm weather, so over time we're starting to see dengue spread in mosquitoes more northward.
The most common symptoms are fever, nausea, vomiting, and a rash. They begin within 2 weeks and last 2 to 7 days. Meanwhile, pest control companies are on overdrive, with calls up 30% in some areas due to bugs and rodents trying to beat the heat.
Just like we don't want to be outside in the heat, neither does anything else.
But there is no end in sight for millions of Americans and critters, especially in the West. Las Vegas could hit 118 today after setting a record for a 5th consecutive day. In Houston, with temperatures in the 90s, an estimated 400,000 customers could be without power into next week in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. Houston's utility company under fire. It recently drafted a plan to improve infrastructure, but at a cost of $2 billion. It means higher electric bills in the future. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The Calhoun County ISD Board was presented with an update to an economic development project that would benefit the school during a recent board meeting. Plus, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has assessed Port Lavaca's drinking water and reported their quality meets or exceeds federal and state standards. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Hall of Fame rapper Flavor Flav recently played his first game of water polo with the U.S. Women's Olympic team. It comes after he signed an unprecedented 5-year sponsorship deal as the official hype man for the USA Water Polo women's and men's national teams. As a part of this sponsorship, Flavor Flav will make a financial contribution to the 2024 USA Women's Water Olympic team, demonstrating commitment to supporting the team as they strive for Olympic gold in Paris. Flavor Flav will be in Paris, and we're told he'll be linking up with NBC's special guest commentator and fellow rapper Snoop Dogg. Still to come on Sunrise News to know before you go, no more spam notifications from Russia. Hear how the U.S. shut down an AI-generated bot form. The U.S. and its allies have shut down a Russian bot farm powered by artificial intelligence. The Justice Department says it seized 2 internet domains and searched nearly 1,000 social media accounts used by Russian actors. They are accused of spreading misinformation in the U.S. and abroad. Authorities say the bot farm used AI to create fake social media profiles impersonating Americans and then posted support for Russia's war in Ukraine using those accounts. The DOJ says the elaborate scheme was organized by an employee of RT, the Russian state-owned media outlet. Now may be a good time to stock up on stamps. Prices are going up again Sunday. Starting July 14th, the cost of a first-class Forever stamp will increase from 68 cents to 73 cents. That's a 5-cent jump and an increase of more than 7%. The U.S. Postal Service says price hikes are needed to achieve financial stability as part of a 10-year plan announced in 2021. This marks the second increase in the stamp prices this year. We want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. And Parker, we've seen some rain outside, or you told us about some rain. What's going on out there?
Yes, you're right, and Darius. In fact, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Port Lavaca, and you can actually see the rain. And look at that. That actually looks kind of spooky right there, a little cloud right there underneath where some of the heavier rain showers are. We'll look at that radar in just a second, because right now in Port Lavaca it's 77 degrees and a dew point 75, making it feel pretty humid out there this morning. But as promised, looking at that radar, you can see all the rain activity is focused on the immediate coast right now, but it's starting to slowly move inland, because I think we're going to have some more shower activity for most of us in the Crossroads today. But coming into Port Lavaca here in the next 5 minutes or so, about the same thing for Bloomington. But with the rain today, it's going to keep us here in southeast Texas a little bit cooler than the rest of the state. Here in Victoria, I'm thinking about 90 degrees with scattered thunderstorms, thunder showers, developing more throughout the morning and going into the afternoon. But then the rain chances die off as we go into the weekend, and the heat wave returns next week. Some of us could be right back in the low 100s.
The low 100s. Well,
yes.
You guys get ready for that heat. I know I have to.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Parker, for weather, and thank you guys for joining us. Have a wonderful Thursday. It's almost Friday. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Dunn, Mac, and Max today for 20 News now at 5, 6, and 10.